with the latest news now.
Happening now, a major honor for Tarrant County College. Recognition that's putting our campus in the spotlight. We're live with that big news. Also, student loans are back, and a record number of borrowers are falling behind.
This is by far the most confusing, challenging time in the student loan system.
We'll see how to protect yourself coming up. And a North Texas teen is fighting for his life after a senior tradition turns tragic.
We feel like people need to be aware of games like this, because teenagers, as a teenager, you're not aware of, if something's bad's going to happen.
Now, his family is speaking out and warning others about the risks. And later in the show, a big switch for a breakfast staple. It's headed somewhere you might not expect. A surprising twist coming up.
Now, this is the news feed.
As the semester winds down and final projects wrap up, we've got one last story that's worth celebrating. Good afternoon and welcome to the Newsfeed. I'm Nathan Vasquez. We begin with big news for Tarrant County College. Our student newspaper, The Collegian, has just been named the best college newspaper in Texas by Texas Managing Editors. Here's how it stacks up against some big names. First place goes to The Collegian, right here at Tarrant County College, beating out Texas Tech University's Daily Toreador, a major publication at a Big 12 school. And Lamar University's University Press, known for strong coverage in Southeast Texas, rounded out the top three. Lauren Harper is live with our news partners, The Collegian, in their newsroom with reaction to their big win. Lauren?
That's right. We're actually in the Collegian office right now. We're about to talk to Chris Whitley. He's been an advisor with the Collegian for about 20 years. Chris, thank you again for taking this time. We appreciate that. Sure. I know this award is not just against 2 years, but also four-year universities. What does having this honor mean for this team?
It means a lot. I mean, this team works so hard day in and day out, and they give up a lot of their time, their college career to help make this product the best that it can be, and to be told that you're not only the best among two-year college media outlets, but the best among all college media outlets, it's incredibly gratifying.
Absolutely. Are there any stories in particular that you think helped this team get this award?
I mean, there's been so much news this past year. We had the Children's Center at Northeast Campus close. We've had, the state has had a ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion in higher education. These are all very important issues that our team has tried to cover in a way that makes sense for their audience, and to try to explain and to try to understand the ramifications of all this. And I think when we're putting this in perspective for people, that we're making this more relevant for our readers. And that's what we try to do every day.
Absolutely. And are there any techniques in terms of writing or finding those stories that you think the Collegian has implemented to, again, win this prestigious honor?
I think we just tell them to always go out, always be talking to people. There are 47,000 students at Tarrant County College. All of them have some kind of story to tell. So there's really no excuse not to come back and find something. And so that's what we encourage them to do. Always be talking to people, always be listening for what's happening, and always find something that's going to resonate with their audience. And if they do that, if they learn that here, then not only will they produce a great product, but they're also on their way to a promising career.
All right, and the last time the Collegian won this award was actually back in 2019.
Lauren, we appreciate it. And congratulations again to our news partners at the Collegian. It's an honor from all of us at the Radio TV Film Department, Lauren. See you in a few minutes. Back here on the desk, students are about to dive into a busy summer. Here are some important dates to remember. Maymester classes start Friday, May 16th, a quick session that wraps up by May 30th. If you're looking ahead, registration for the first summer 5-week session ends Thursday, May 29th, with classes starting June 2nd. And if you're interested in allied health programs, there's a special event at the Trinity River Campus East Room TRHA 2017C, where you can learn about financial aid options for health careers. Plus, graduation is right around the corner. TCC's class of 2025 will walk the stage at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth on Saturday, May 17th, celebrating graduates from summer 2024, fall 2024, and spring 2025. For more details on graduation, including parking and social media contests, check out TCC's commencement website, and you can find that at tcc.edu/academics/graduation. After a 5-year pause, the federal government is cracking down again, collecting on defaulted student loans. The Department of Education says more than 5 million borrowers are in default. So what does this mean for you? Ivan Rodriguez is live in our newsroom with a look at your options.
The move comes as the Trump administration works to dismantle the Education Department and roll back former President Joe Biden's policies, including student loan forgiveness and forbearance. Now millions of struggling borrowers are forced to act quickly or they might see their wages garnished. For millions of Americans, the Department of Education's announcement came with immediate confusion.
The amount that I owe is $185,000, and that is years and it's decades of interest.
46-year-old Leslie Gray says the pause on payments during the pandemic was a lifesaver, allowing her to pay off medical debt after overcoming breast cancer in 2017. That's also around the time she put her student loans in forbearance.
I haven't been able to catch up since then.
More than 5 million borrowers are in default and 4 million additional borrowers are in late-stage delinquency, which occurs after 90 days without payment, according to the Department of Education. Those could tip into default. Natalia Abrams with the nonprofit Student Debt Crisis Center says they've been inundated with calls from borrowers, many of whom aren't even in default.
This is by far the most confusing, challenging time in the student loan system.
Abrams says there are ways to know if you're in default and steps you can take to get out.
Studentaid.gov. That is going to be your North Star as a student loan borrower to see what program you're in, how far in repayment you are. If you are in default, you can look to a loan consolidation, so that restarts your loan, creates a new loan. It kind of halts that default process. Then you can look at default rehabilitation, where you can pay as little as $5 for 9 months.
It's important to remember a borrower can only rehabilitate a defaulted loan one time. Borrowers should also watch out for any scams that may deceive them with false promises of debt relief or more affordable payments.
All right, thank you, Ivan. A Tarrant County College student is taking her next step after 20 years in the Air Force. Declan Hall just earned a spot in the National Focus Forward Fellowship, a program for women veterans in college. She says, "I'm seeing this as an opportunity to understand and maximize my strengths and learn strategies to succeed." TCC is cooking up careers in culinary and hospitality. The college hosted its first ever industry luncheon at its new Southeast campus, giving students a chance to show off their skills to local employers. Chancellor Elba LeBlanc says, "I anticipate continued conversations that will guide us in better serving the business community of Tarrant County." The event sparked new partnerships, including internship talks with Arlington's mayor for his restaurants. Tarrant County College is launching a new program to help fill classrooms and qualified teachers. The college can now certify educators in early childhood, special ed, and English as a second language. The program starts this fall and could fast-track inspiring teachers into classrooms. A South Grand Prairie teen is getting support from his school and community as he continues fighting for his life. 17-year-old Isaac Leal has been on life support for nearly a month after falling off a moving vehicle during a senior water gun game. His family says they're seeing hopeful signs like leg movement and even tears.
Like everything was planned out, and your plans change from overnight. Nothing matters but saving your kid's life.
This week, his baseball team honored him with a special tribute at their banquet as Isaac continues his fight to recover. A tragic crash in Dallas has left 2 dead, including a child, after a motorcycle slammed into a parking lot. It happened Saturday in Oak Cliff. Another child was hurt and rushed to the hospital. Dallas police are still investigating. Oak Cliff neighbors are calling for action after 2 cars went airborne at their townhouse complex, both caught on camera. Investigators blame speed. 1 car even hit a home. Residents want city council to step in. 2 kids, just 12 and 13, are now charged with capital murder in Austin, and neighbors can't believe it. Police say the young suspect stole a car, then shot 20-year-old Anthony Salas when he tried to get back. Neighbors tell us they're still in shock, calling it a tragedy that shakes their community.
You know, I'm sure everybody is more looking over their shoulder right now and wondering what the heck's going on.
A Fury 12 vehicle crash in El Paso has left 1 man dead and 7 others hurt. Police say a semi-truck hauling another semi couldn't stop and slammed into traffic. The cause is still under investigation. Google will pay Texas $1.4 billion over alleged privacy violations. The state says Google secretly tracked users' locations, voices, and faces. Google says most issues have already been resolved elsewhere. A Texas woman is reacting with pure joy after hearing about the new Pope.
Oh, my goodness. As a citizen of the United States, I come from El Paso, Texas. I'm very excited. I'm a little bit in shock, but I'm going to go ahead and receive it with blessing, and we'll continue to pray for him and for the Holy Spirit to guide him. And I'm so happy.
She's talking about Pope Leo XIV, just elected to the lead Catholic Church. The announcement sparking emotional reactions worldwide, including right here in Texas. What your teen drives could be the difference between safety and tragedy. We'll explain, plus why the prices on everything from baby gear to power tools keep climbing.
Who is Tarrant County College? We are ambitious and full of potential. We bridge education and employment. The beating heart of healthcare, the drivers of industry, the very fabric of Tarrant County. We partner with employers so graduates step into waiting careers. We're changing the game, trailblazing a path forward, uplifting North Texas. We are TCC. Bold steps, better futures.
Need a ride? Yeah!
Driving with kids is a big responsibility.
Hop in and buckle up!
So don't sweat the small stuff.
You got paint all over our paper!
Get the big stuff right instead.
What does that mean?
Like making sure your kids are in the correct car seat and buckled up for safer travel.
That deserves a wiggly wiggly wig.
To make sure your child is in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Beep, beep. Yeah!
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Of course.
Yes. Have you ever asked for help yourself?
It's always tough, right? I always feel like I can solve my own problems, but eventually, you just can't deal with it on your own. And you start to question, maybe people would be better off without me. When you realize that you're not alone, once you take that first step, there's so much support.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I am so proud to call you my son.
And here joining us is our own anchor, Lauren Harper. And again, congratulations on the Collegian.
Thank you. It's good to be back at the desk, though.
Tariffs are already hitting your wallet, making things like baby gear, power tools, and mattresses more expensive.
Over the weekend, the Trump administration raised some tariffs on China, but the damage may be done for now. The Federal Reserve says tariffs have pushed prices up by 0.3% this year. Some companies are raising prices across the board, while others are targeting specific items. And some are just dropping products entirely, saying customers won't pay or competitors will undercut them. Newark Airport is down. Air traffic controllers 5 went on trauma leave after losing radio contact with planes. The FAA says it may limit flights until staffing improves. Sean Diddy Combs, his children and mother, arrived at his federal sex trafficking trial in Manhattan on Monday. A jury is seated and opening statements are underway, but Combs denies all charges.
The Trump administration is sending hundreds more federal agents to help ICE arrest undocumented immigrants, including Border Patrol and National Guard. This could start as soon as this week. Russia and Ukraine are set for peace talks, but President Putin won't be there. The Kremlin says Putin won't attend the talks in Turkey, ending speculation of a meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Without Putin, Zelensky may not show up either, but the talks still mark progress.
Accidents are the leading cause of death for teenagers, and most of them involve cars. But a new study says what your teen drives could make a big difference. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why the age of the car matters and what parents need to know.
It's never easy allowing a new driver to take the wheel. Experts say teens face a higher risk of crashes due to lack of experience, immaturity, and their tendency to take risks.
Particularly when teens start driving unsupervised.
Ginger Young is an author of a study published in JAMA Network Open, which suggests another risk factor. She says the older the car that people drive, the higher the risk of dying in an accident. The study says driving vehicles 6 to 15 years old had a 19% greater risk of fatal crashes, and vehicles older than 15 years had a 31% greater risk, both compared to those driving vehicles 5 years old or newer, regardless of the driver's age. But Young says many parents pass down an old vehicle to their new driver.
Teen drivers that is 15 to 18 years old will more likely than middle-aged drivers that is 31 to 55 years old to drive a vehicle that is older than 15 years.
Young says the newer vehicles and driver assistance technologies can not only reduce crashes, but also their severity. And since parents often control what car their teen drives, she says teens should drive the safest vehicle available. If a newer model isn't in the budget, get frequent maintenance to ensure the car is running properly. When possible, seek out a car with driver assistance technologies and help them develop safe driving habits by educating teens on the dangers of risky driving. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, thank you, Mandy. A powerful strike lights up a North Texas neighborhood, and some quick thinking helped protect the species on the edge. Coming up, and take a look at this.
The Storm Team forecast is tracking some extreme temperatures heading our way. We'll tell you where and how this heat wave is going to stick around. Next.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
See you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
From the NewsFeed's Forecast Center, this is your Storm Team forecast.
All right, parts of Texas are in for an early taste of summer this week, but not the fun kind. Heat records could fall in cities like Austin and San Antonio, with more than 6 million Texans under heat advisories. Austin could hit 107 degrees Wednesday, which could be its hottest May day ever. San Antonio could see 3 straight days at 103 degrees or higher, a first for May. And Del Rio might hit 110 degrees midweek, the earliest that's ever happened. So if you're outdoors, stay hydrated and keep an eye on that heat. And while the calendar says mid-May, our weather feels more like mid-July this week. The head continues throughout the week and into the weekend. From the Storm Team Forecast Center tonight, mostly clear and warm with a low of 74. Friday, partly cloudy and hot. Not just a slight chance for a storm, but again, that high of 94. Saturday, a better shot at scattered afternoon storms with a high of 91.
North Texas family is picking up the pieces after a lightning strike lit up their home in Colleyville. and the whole thing was caught on camera. Now the community is stepping up to help. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at the moment a lightning bolt struck a house in Texas, setting it on fire. A neighboring home's security camera captured the shocking moment, showing flames almost immediately shooting from the home's roof. According to WFAA, the owner said they were sitting in their kitchen when the ceiling suddenly fell. 3 people were treated for minor injuries, but all are expected to be okay. The sudden incident displaced the family, but supporters are now striking back with an online fundraising effort that's already topped $20,000. Not quite as shocking, but certainly startling, was this sight of a black bear wandering the city streets in St. Augustine, Florida. The lumbering loiterer was spotted in the Lincolnville neighborhood, and police told local media traps were being set up by fish and wildlife officers in an effort to relocate the bear away from the residential area. But later that day, officials provided an update saying they believe the bear had moved on its own. Finally, take a look at a very creative effort by wildlife officials in Wyoming to lure a threatened species of game bird away from a hazardous area. Every spring, beautiful greater sage grouses set up shop and strut their stuff in an elaborate mating effort. But sometimes they choose unsafe mating grounds, like near the Jackson Hole Airport, which has reportedly been the scene of many fatal bird strikes. But now, officials with Grand Teton National Park are getting crafty, setting up handmade decoy grouses along with trail cameras in an effort to coax the thirsty birds to shoot their shots in safer areas. The park posted their plan on social media saying, "Can papier-mâché save lives? We're about to find out, hopefully." For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
ESPN is getting a makeover and a new price tag. We'll tell you what's changing.
Plus, it seems the Mavs may have just pulled off the impossible. With a chance less than 2%, they landed the top pick in the NBA draft. Who they might grab and what it means for Dallas. Join Ethan Wilson next with sports.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why? My. Oh.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
From the NewsFeed Sports Desk, this is the Sports Report.
The Dallas Mavericks just hit the jackpot, landing the top pick in the 2025 NBA Draft. It was a long shot, just 1.8% chance, but the Mavs beat the odds, outshining teams like the Jazz, the Wizards, and the Hornets. Now they get the first dibs on Duke superstar Cooper Flagg, a game changer many expect them to grab. And after trading Luka Doncic mid-season, Mavs fans are hoping this pick brings some much-needed excitement back to Dallas. The draft is June 25th and 26th at Barclays Center in New York. The Women's World Cup is about to level up, and it's getting closer to home. FIFA just announced the tournament will expand to 48 teams starting in 2031. That's up That's up from 32 more teams means more action, 104 matches instead of 64, and an extra week added to the schedule. The new format will feature 12 groups, all unanimously approved by FIFA's council. The next Women's World Cup happens in Brazil in 2027, but that one still sticks to 32 teams. Dallas already locked in as a host city for the Men's World Cup in 2026, and now the US is hoping to bring the Women's World Cup here in 2031 or 2035. FIFA says that decision comes next year. Pete Rose is no longer on baseball's permanently ineligible list, a lifetime ban that kept him out of the Hall of Fame. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred made the call after Rose died last September. Fans says it's about time.
Worshiping the Big Red Machine, and then getting back the wire to wire in 1990 was phenomenal, but it just ain't complete without having our hometown guy in the Hall of Fame.
Rose still holds MLB's all-time record for hits and games played. And finally, ESPN just announced the name of its new streaming service, and you'll never guess it, it's just ESPN. The Disney-owned network is launching a flagship streamer this fall with a full access plan priced at $29.99 a month. It'll include everything you see on ESPN's TV channels. That's 47,000 live events, studio shows, and more each year. A cheaper plan at $11.99 will offer what's already on ESPN Plus. And if you're already paying for linear ESPN, you'll get the new service automatically.
Frosty Makeover. We'll tell you what has come in the freezer aisle that has fans buzzing in the newsfeed.
I taught for 20 years, but I started forgetting my lectures.
Eventually, he had to quit.
My therapist recommended we go to the doctor.
The early Alzheimer's diagnosis allowed us to take control of the situation.
He's been such a positive force and so loving.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go. Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Who is Tarrant County College? We are ambitious and full of potential. We bridge education and employment. The beating heart of healthcare, the drivers of industry, the very fabric of Tarrant County. We partner with employers so graduates step into waiting careers. We're changing the game, trailblazing a path forward, uplifting North Texas. We are TCC. Bold steps, better futures.
You scream, I scream, we all scream for Pop-Tarts? Yeah, the classic toaster pastry is taking a cold turn. Pop-Tarts parent company Kellanova just unveiled ice cream sandwiches. They come in 3 flavors with ice cream layered between what they call flavor-filled pastry-style ends. And that's not all. Pop-Tarts ice cream pints are coming too. The sandwiches hit Walmart freezers this month. The pints arrive later this month. All right, would you try it?
Possibly, yeah, if they have a brown sugar.
A brown? I think you're wrong. I think s'mores is way better.
No, that's the way to go.
Well, it's perfect for summer. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next Thursday at 10 a.m. Have a great rest.